even in the worst work environments that I've been in, I can now look back at them with enough compassion and empathy to ask myself, what did that person go through that they chose to actually project that onto all of us in that workplace? What did that person, like, and where did that start from? Like, where did they learn that? What's the origin story there? Who's the first person that made them believe that? Because actually, in all of these things, it's not about passing the blame down a lineage, but it is about acknowledging that actually we're all humans. We've all had a human experience. We've all been exposed to trauma at some point. And when you're out of the situation of psychological insecurity, part of the healing is also having compassion and looking back and saying that, this wasn't about me. This was also about somebody else and their inability to recognize within themselves a certain set of patterns and behaviors. It doesn't excuse the behavior, but what it does, it helps you unlock your sense of worth or your sense of being at fault, right? In that situation. And at the same time, it also allows you to take responsibility and think, did I end up turning around in order to stay in favor and do that to somebody else? And how would I actually be conscious enough not to replicate that in the future? So, I mean, some of this might sound really existential, but I actually think that one of the only ways that we start to address this, like I'm not sure if I believe that there's any one point of disruption or interception that you can go to say that if we just removed this from the equation, then everything else would be fine. It's probably a lot more complicated and layered than that. And people are probably a lot more tangled up in it than they even realize as they're experiencing that. And that's not to cast blame on the people who are experiencing the insecurity, but one of the things that I'm learning more and more is that even in my experience of insecurity, I have agency. And remembering that agency is incredibly important, because for someone to actually make you believe that you don't have agency in that situation, um, you know, like that is the ultimate form of mistruth. Like, we still always do have agency, no matter how uncomfortable it is.